We are stronger every day. Yeah, we're getting braver in every way.
So, obviously, I've gained weight, right? I guess it's almost been 4 years ago now since I lost weight, and whoa, time freaking flies. I guess it was like the beginning of when I started losing weight, and I've gained weight back, obviously. But I will say, these girls look great. Not looking forward to those going away when I lose some weight. So I get a lot of comments like, she's gained so much weight, hello? And I'm like, yes, she has. You can see, congrats. Everyone can see that. And also like, have you given up? And it's like, I could if I wanted to. Anyone has the right to do that. Like, their value in their life does not have to revolve around their health or how much weight they want to lose or whatever it may be. Like, people can do what they want with their free will. But that's just not the case for me. It just takes a lot of mental fortitude, is that the right word, and toughness, and it's time consuming, and it consumes a lot of mental space, especially for me as someone with ADHD that doesn't necessarily build habits in the same way that other people build habits. I more build routines, and routines can be a little bit harder to establish in the long term, I think. And also with ADHD and the way that hyperfocus works, it's like a constant struggle to do something if it's not something that like is really speaking to you at the moment and that you absolutely want to do. So I think the last few times I've lost weight, that has really been my hyperfocus. Like, I loved Weight Watchers, I loved counting points. It was like, I don't want to say an addiction, but a hyper focus, definitely. The time before that, I was really, really obsessed with working out. So I would go to like 4 workout classes a day. Is that overkill? Yes. Should anyone do that? No. But it assisted me in losing weight extremely quickly. But obviously, like, I don't want to say obviously. In my experience, losing weight is relatively easy once I start doing it. It's easy. Keeping it off is the harder part for me. And I don't want it to be a lifelong journey with trying to find a way to keep weight off. But it seems like it has become that the sustainability piece in keeping weight off has been the difficulty for me. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do entering this next phase of my wellness and my well life, because, you know, I'm 35, going to be 36 in a couple of months. I'm getting ready to make a really big move. I probably would have started sooner, but after my dad died, it was just kind of a huge, like, mind fuck. And we moved out of the country like shortly after that. That move was planned before he died. Sometimes I think, oh, should I have like canceled that and not moved because that happened? But like, the ball was rolling, and I do really think that that was a healing year for me moving out of the country. So I am grateful that I did that. But dealing with grief is just really interesting, because prior to my dad dying, when I'd gained my weight back, it was never like emotional eating, and I'll explain that a little bit more, because I don't necessarily think what I did was emotional eating. But before that, when I would gain my weight back, habits would change, or not habits, like routines would change. So instead of doing my ranch, like Bolt House ranch with some Greek yogurt and a little bit of the ranch seasoning to stretch it out but keep it low calorie with a little bit of extra protein, it just would go to regular ranch. And like 2 cups of regular ranch can be 600 calories, and that increases your calories a whole lot, even if you haven't changed your eating habits that much. If you're still eating a salad or a grains and greens bowl, the type of things that I eat pretty consistently, once you just change the sauces, those can be almost double the calories like very quickly. Or going from doing a protein shake in my coffee or a sugar-free creamer to doing regular syrup and regular creamer. So I'm having the exact same thing, but the ingredients have changed, so that adds calories. So like, in the past, like little habits that I had started change over time, or little routines that I had changed over time, kind of using them interchangeably. So that it contributed to my weight gain. Even though I wasn't eating that much more, I was adding calories in different ways. Instead of using a Pam spray, I'm using regular like French butter from Central Market that's beautiful with the flaky salt. Like, it's those kinds of things. But this time I just didn't care. So sometimes I wasn't even eating like 3 times a day, but the one meal I was eating was like very calorically dense, or like more sweets than I would typically have. It was hard to want to work out. I didn't really care to. I didn't really care to like think about finding foods that were probably more balanced. Like, I didn't care. And yes, I ate more like fruits and veggies in Mexico because they were fresher and amazing, but like we just like went to taco stands and food carts a lot, it was just like I couldn't find that same like motivation after my dad died. It was really hard. And I was talking to one of my friends, Gigi. She was a Weight Watchers coach, and she had lost her weight. I think she had it off for 5 or 6 years, and then once her dad died, also she gained it all back. And I remember being in one of her workshops and being like, "Hey, Gigi," and she's like, "You look great." And I was like, "I gained a lot of weight." And she's like, "Yeah." And then we were just talking about our dads. Oh my gosh, I did not want to cry about this. Oof. And grief is just so weird and like consuming, because I think about things like when I was at my dad's funeral, we were supposed to be at our family reunion together. So weird. And I had like people texting me during his funeral because they were streaming his funeral during the family reunion that we were supposed to be at together, And just thinking about how pretty young he was, the circumstances around him dying, and also like the anger around the deceit of him dying. Like, my uncle's trying to get ahead of it and like tell me that he died for one reason when it was not that reason. Or my stepmom trying to make it so that I couldn't get a death certificate, which I'm his daughter, I'm his blood daughter, I can have whatever the fuck I want. Like having to go to the state and get it, and then saying that it was an overdose. And it's weird, like seeing someone that looks exactly like you like laying in a casket. It's so weird because it's like half of your fibers of your being, your cells, your traits, everything, like it's just like summed up into literally this little box. And I just remember like touching his hands and like touching his face, and it's gonna sound weird, but like seeing myself there. And like I saw his death certificate, and he did have some like health concerns. He had high blood pressure and diabetes, but ultimately like he died from the overdose. And I just think, and he needed a hip replacement, but he needed to lose weight before he could get it, so he hadn't had it. But like we looked exactly the same, like our size, our shapes, like everything. My mom's always been like, "Oh yeah, you know your body's exactly like your dad's." And he wore husky clothes before husky clothes were invented. Like, your grandma used to have to make his clothes when he was little. And just hearing like how much like the impulsivity I have is so similar to him, and that like carries over to like, you know, drinking the same Starbucks drink, which I now know is ADHD and like hyper focus and things like that. But I just like, we're very similar. Anyways, just grief is so hard, and that's what, going back to like the emotional eating, I wasn't really eating out of emotion. I was just eating out of lack of care of anything. Like, I wasn't eating when I was sad or when I was upset. I was just like, I guess I have to eat. It can be whatever, you know? Or like, I don't want to go out of my way to find sugar-free creamer in Mexico. Let's use La Lecheria, which is delicious, by the way. And a lot of people make their coffee creamer that way. I'm gonna cut this out. Hold on. But it's just crazy. His birthday's in a couple of days. But you know, I can't be sad forever. Well, I can be, and I will be. I mean, I'm still like sad about my dog dying too. Like, I'm sad about that, and it's been even longer. So you can be sad forever, but I still have to like take care of myself. Like, I've been a bigger girl my entire life. I've been fat, and a lot of that time I have been healthy, in my opinion. Like, no health concerns, very mobile, very active, feeling great, getting around really well. And now I just feel stiff because I haven't had like a workout routine in so long. I jump on my Bellicon all the time, but I feel like that's more for like lymphatic drainage and stuff like that. I don't do it for like full workouts. It's just more like for fun and to like decompress a little bit and to get the lymph system moving. But yeah, I do just feel stiff and a little more out of breath when I walk. You know, the things that I don't want to feel. You know, if I'm walking for a very long period of time, I'm like, am I waddling a little bit? I feel like I'm waddling, and I don't want to waddle. So it's just like little things like that, nothing like extreme. Yeah, I want to get it together. I want to feel good. I owe it to myself, because I deserve the world. I really do, and everyone does. Everyone should feel that way about themselves. Like, you deserve the world. You deserve everything that you want, as long as you're not a really fucking shitty person. But I'm a good person. I want good for other people, and I deserve good for myself. So, and my dad would want that for me too. This video ended up being way more weepy than I expected for it to. I'm glad that I switched foundations to Estee Lauder Double Wear because it still looks pretty good, y'all. I'm just here. I'm waiting for my order to be ready at Sally's. I've made a pickup order, so I'm gonna go grab that. But yes, I gained weight. Yes, I know I gained weight. No, I have not given up on being healthy and feeling my healthiest. Life is just hard. It's just, I envy you so much. If life is just as easy as getting everything you want done quickly, and you can just lose weight and keep it off, or you know, you can get yourself out of whatever circumstance. But it's not. If you can just pull yourself out of like deep grief and hurt. But it's not that easy for everyone else. in life is a journey. There are times in the journey where you're gonna be killing it and fucking rocking it, but then there are times like this where you're starting at a new place in your journey. I don't think you're ever truly starting over, because you learn so much in life, you know, learn what to do, what not to do, what makes you feel good, what doesn't. There's so many lessons throughout life and throughout the journey of life. I was just in a weird spot, a weird space. Even the last year has felt like a transition space for me since we've been back in the US. And I finally feel like I have my bearings about me. We know what we want. We're moving soon. And I think just being in where we're going and being in that happier space and being where we want to be and in the environment that makes us feel good and, you know, uplifts your spirit will help so much as well. Like, form those routines because you're where you want to be, you know? So, be nicer to people. And, yeah, compassion can go a long way. Like, I get how it seems so easy for some people, but which is why I really love my best friend so much. He's like a bodybuilder and like super in shape. We've been best friends since 6th grade, and he's never like once ever judged me about anything with my weight, and he's always just so compassionate and so understanding and always like willing to help if I need it. And I don't know why in my brain, like a lot of the people that are judgmental, it's because they've either lost weight and been able to keep it off, or they've never struggled with weight. And it just really gives me hope having someone in my life that's like that hasn't struggled with weight but is so compassionate that there can be more of that to go around, you know. Okay, this video's long. I love you guys. Until next time, get out there and love life, and I will talk to you very soon. All right.